Hello everyone, it's DJ. I'm back, finally on video again. Well, I have another camera, we'll see how it works, and hopefully things will progress a little better. From what I'm seeing on the view screen here, it looks like things are a bit dark, but we can make do with that for now and carry on. Yes, I look a little bit different. I'm trying on something new, and it is a bit lopsided because I got a little too close with the razor this morning. Oh well, such is life. Alright, well today I'm going to talk about the final pay versus High-3 pay systems. This is something about which most people aren't aware, specifically how your base amount for retired pay is computed. So here's how it works. And I'm only going to talk about the the reserve component side as usual, since that is the focus of what we do here. So just reservists, it's pretty much the same for active duty, but we're not going to talk about that. So how does all this work? Essentially it comes down to two dates. If you have your initial entry date in the military service, or date of initial entry in the military service as they call it in the Army, if it is on or after 8 September 1980, then you fall under what's called the final pay system. I'll explain that in a moment. If you join the military after 8 September 1980, then you fall under what is known as the High-3 system. And here's how they work. For final pay, it is really just that. It is your final or highest rate of pay, whichever it may be, at the time that you leave military service. And if you're a reservist, that doesn't mean when you left the reserves at age 40 that you're going to be paid on the pay schedule from 20 years ago. It means that you'll be paid as if you were still in the military on the day that you actually start receiving your pay. So you get an extra 20 years of service for pay purposes. I've explained that in the past, how all that works, if you make the right decision upon separation. So how does all this work? Well, I'm going to read an example that I wrote and let you know how that works. So let's assume we have someone who is pay grade E7. This person has 30 years of service as of the date he starts to receive pay. We'll even have him retire this year. He becomes eligible for pay at the end of June 2017. He has 3,200 retirement points, and the base pay amount for someone in the pay grade of E7 is $5,167.50 per month. That's based on current pay scales. If you take 3,200 points and convert that into a percentage of base pay, which you do simply by dividing 3,200 by 14,400, then you get 22.22% of base pay. You with me so far? I know that's a lot of numbers, but I'm going to put this presentation up with the video so you can follow along. Anyway, base pay of $51.67.50. His retirement is 22.22% of pay. That works out to $1,148 per month. Not bad for a part-time job, right? Now, under the High-3 system, the way things work is on the date of your actual retirement, when you're eligible for pay, the Defense Finance and Accounting Service will take the last 3 years, or the last 36 months of pay for your grade. And if you are talking about the same E7, then that may or may not have a significant difference in the amount of your monthly pay. It's going to have a small amount here, but it can be quite radical for some people. So they'll take the last 36 months of base pay, average it all together, and then your percentage is based on that 36-month average. So let's look at the same kind of numbers for this person. Again, an E7 with 30 years. He has 3,200 retirement points. The average of his monthly base pay in this case is $5,038.20 per month. If you take 22.22% of that, it works out to $1,119 per month. Now let's see, based on my primitive math, that works out to a $29 difference, which may not seem like a whole lot in the case of this example, but when you're talking about thousands of people who are receiving retired pay every month, that works out to a significant savings for the government. And that was the whole point of introducing the High-3 system. It was a money-saving venture. Now, in some cases, when they're computing the High-3 average, they can actually cross over the different lines of service, the different brackets in which pay goes up. And if you look at a military pay scale, you'll know what I mean. That for some pay grades, at every 2-year mark, pay continues to go up. It maxes out sooner than for some than others, but those differences in the pay brackets are taken into account. Let's just say, for example, that again, with 30 years of service, let's say the 28th, 29th, and 30th years are taken into account. Then the pay bracket for 28 and years of service is used for 28 and 29, and the pay bracket for 30 years of service is used for that last year. Again, that might not be a significant difference, but it does introduce a little bit more savings for the government, a little bit less money for the retiree, but not really a whole lot, to cause any great concern. Well, hopefully that is a reasonable, simple explanation of how High-3 versus final pay works. The way I explain this to people is simply, if you want to get an estimate of your retired pay, take last year's pay scale and multiply it by whatever percentage you're eligible to get at the moment. That gives you a reasonable estimate for discussion purposes. So again, hopefully this has been easy to understand. If not, there's always my comments section. Please post any questions or comments you may have, and I'll answer them with rapid fire. If you have any topics you'd like to hear me discuss in the future, also mention those in the comments section, and you just might see those in a future episode. As always, I thank you for being part of this audience, and I thank you for your service. Have a great day.